Hi, Chuck. This is Tom.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good.
Good. What's up?
Gotta ask you, man, the Fraternal Order of Police, your very best friends in the whole world, they have succeeded here in San Antonio, Texas, of protesting the show.
Yeah.
And not offering their services.
Right.
How often is this happening at y'all shows around the country?
Right. It's happened at a few shows, but the one thing that bears mentioning is that that's really a smoke screen. At a show where there are normally 14 to 20,000 kids in attendance, normally the police presence inside the venue is 4 or 5 cops. They're there just sort of as a courtesy to the promoter. These shows have plenty of security, which it's the same security that you'd find at any show, whether it's Rage Against the Machine, Korn, or a country and western show, and the shows are totally safe. They do that to try to trick parents into thinking that it's going to be some Lord of the Flies kind of experience inside, and we haven't had any incidents anywhere on the entire tour.
What happened with the show in Baltimore? How come it got canceled?
It didn't get canceled.
It didn't get canceled.
No,
okay.
No, it didn't get canceled at all.
Misinformation.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That is indeed misinformation.
All right.
The one thing that did happen lately, though, is which might be of interest, is Sunday, that we in the Fraternal Order of Police were supposed to hash it out on ABC Nightly News, and the FOP, they were delighted to do the piece, and we're actually sending a car for the producer to bring him down to for the interview, until they found out that Zach and I were doing the interview as well, and then they got afraid. And they said they couldn't make it, they couldn't find the right guy. See, as long as only their views are portrayed, as long as they can give a one-sided, stilted version of the events, they're very courageous. But when Rage Against the Machine was going to go head-to-head with them, they were very afraid. I mean, and that follows a similar pattern. I don't know how many of your listeners are that familiar with the case of Mumia Abu-Jamal, but he's a political dissident who's spent many years on death row for a crime that he most likely didn't commit, and his trial was an absolute farce and a sham, and his attorney, Leonard Weinglass, has offered to debate anyone from the Fraternal Order of Police, the DA's office, the prosecutor's office, in any forum whatsoever, TV, radio, print, and they refuse because they don't want people to be able to decide for themselves.
What show was this supposed to take place on just the other night?
What was supposed to take place?
What program were you in?
ABC Nightly News last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but they backed out.
You expect any confrontations here in San Antonio or any?
No, I mean there's been no confrontations whatsoever anywhere on the tour. Any drama surrounding this whole event on the tour has been has come totally from the police. We're on our national tour having a great time with shows sold out or mostly sold out everywhere around the country. At each of the shows, we're donating money from every ticket to local food banks and homeless shelters. We're on the same Rage Against the Machine social justice crusade that we've been on from day one. The defending or demanding a fair trial for Mumia Abu-Jamal is one of many different important issues that the band has going on.
Definitely, a very active band. Now, I want to get off the subject here a little bit. Rage Against the Machine, obviously a pioneering band in whatever genre of music you want to call it, and I'm not going to even try and classify it. What do you feel about the newer acts today that are becoming, more accepted more quickly? I know Rage had an uphill battle getting accepted, but
Absolutely.
Bands like Korn, the Biscuits, the Kid Rocks.
Right.
What do you feel about them? Do they pay y'all with the proper respect, or?
Well, I don't. I mean, that's nothing that I particularly care about, and I'm friends with guys in all three of those bands that you mentioned, and as well as being fans of their bands. I think that there's a great energy in that kind of aggressive music. I think the underlying philosophies of those bands and Rage Against the Machine are very, very different, and that we're totally different bands in that regard, as well as having some strong and important musical differences as well. But I think there's a healthy element to those bands which was missing from, say, the early '90s grunge bands, where they're very unapologetic about being rock and roll bands. They don't have any ambiguity about being successful, or about there's a great relationship between band and audience, as opposed to some of your early '90s grunge groups where there was a sort of a guilt about rock stardom and sort of an ambiguous relationship with the fans that these bands don't have. And I think it's much healthier now.
Great. All right, you've done lots of collaborations. You've even done some remixes. Anything in the near future, maybe maybe it's not been released information-wise.
Right.
Or...
No, I mean, the last thing I did was produce and play on a few songs on the new Primus record, which was a great time. They're really, really great people in that band and fantastic musicians. But right now, we're in full Rage Against the Machine mode, and when I do the collaborative stuff and the one-offs, it's when Rage has downtime, and I would prefer that Rage never had downtime. So now that we're in the middle of touring behind the Battle of Los Angeles, it's nothing but Rage Against the Machine.
Well, speaking of touring, obviously lots of press goes about with the tour. You had time to read your articles in Rolling Stone or Time Magazine. You ever have time to go back and look at them and see how much disinformation is in there, how true they are? I mean, how do you feel about articles and major publications that are written about y'all?
Well, excuse me one second, I'm getting over a cold. I really don't put that much stock in it. We do an awful lot of press, and inevitably, in every interview, there's at least something small or large that's inaccurate. And you could spend, if you choose to focus on that, you could spend all day, wringing your hands about this journalist or about that misquote. But I think that's really a waste of time. There are more important things. There's rock to be played. There's a world to be saved. There's things like that which take precedent over worrying about some interview.
Now, in guitar magazines across the country, with this new album being released, obviously they're hopping all over you, and they're calling you the thing. I mean, you had the Jimmy Page, you had your Eddie Van Halens, and now you got you. I mean, do you feel a weight on your shoulder? Does it make your head explode? Does it make you blush? Or are you like, I don't want this attention? I mean, obviously people are taking notice of your style.
Yeah. I mean, I also try not to, overthink that. I think it's very kind, and I'm very appreciative when people have things to say. But I've basically been playing playing the way I do, since the early '90s, and during that time it was sort of the aftermath of the shredding revolution, where my weird kind of deconstructed guitar wasn't something that they paid much attention to, and now they are, and that's it's all good. It's great, and my mom clips the articles, and she's very proud.
Have you heard any bands or any upcoming artists that somebody's maybe pointed to your direction, like, hey, he's trying to copy you?
Well, I mean, I think that whenever there's and I won't say it's just me, but whenever there's like a band that has new and different musical inroads, that people tend to take bits and pieces of it or gravitate towards it. And when I turn on alternative rock stations now, in a lot of the guitar playing, you do hear some similarities, or at least sort of adopting a similar way of thinking in a kind of a non-linear fashion about how to play guitar, and that's all good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, very, very cool. Well, I thank you for your time today. I understand.
It's been a pleasure.
I've been getting over a cold myself. You got to conserve the voice.
Yeah.
Y'all playing in Philadelphia tonight, right?
Yeah, playing in Philadelphia tonight. Yeah.
Tonight, and the Fraternal Order of Police are not protesting the show.
Yeah, that is correct. I don't believe that they're going to be at the show today.
Correct.
They've been making a fuss in the press beforehand, but I think that they're going to stay away tonight.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And they can continue to use their First Amendment rights to say what they want, and you can rest assured that we will use ours to express our opinion.
When y'all play here on the 14th, I don't want you to spoil it, and I don't want anybody else to know what y'all going to play, but you going to do some of the older favorites, or you going to stick to some of the newer stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been bouncing around with slightly different set lists, from night to night, and trying out some of the new songs on there. But there's a healthy dose of Battle of Los Angeles, but also some of the some of the golden greats as well will be dusted off for these shows, I assure you, as well as some interesting new little stuff that we've been working on.
Well, great. The Big Finger Salute song going to be in there too, of course.
Oh, that one. You know what? It's hard not to play that little gem. Yeah.
How long does the set run?
Probably about an hour and a half, 40 minutes.
Great. We're looking forward to the show on December 14th.
Yeah, as are we.
Definitely. All right, thank you for your time today, man.
My pleasure. We'll see you soon then.
All right, have a good day.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Outside the boundaries of their phony world of kicks is the ever-present possibility of discovery. This must be avoided at all costs, for discovery brings with it the penalties of society: shame, arrest, prison. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.